Hello world, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So as you can see here, this is our Cell Allure Amazing 2. It comes with a beautiful 6-inch LCD display with a 1280 by 720 HD resolution. It's equipped with a quad-core processor clocked at 1.3 GHz with 1 gig of RAM and 8 GB of internal storage. It's running the Android OS version 4.4.2. It has a 13 megapixel rear-facing camera and 5 megapixels on the front, and is capable of shooting full 1080p HD video. It comes with dual SIM card slots, support for CDMA and GSM frequency bands. The Amazing 2 does support 4G, but not LTE technology. Lastly, it also comes equipped with a 2800 mAh battery, which I found to pack quite the juice for about a couple of days usage before needing to recharge. The design of the device actually exceeded my expectations. It's an all-plastic build with a metal frame, with a similar look to the previous iPhone 5 and 5S from Apple. The metal rim is where you'll find most of your controls, such as your volume rocker on the top left, a 3.5mm headphone jack at the top, and your sleep-wake button on the right. Now on the bottom you'll find a dedicated camera record button. For me, I didn't find it that useful to use, as most of the time I forgot it was even there. It's quite a thin device of around just 8mm thick. It does have a very tall form factor, as this is a 6-inch device and overall may be a bit bigger or larger for some. If you're like me and have smaller hands, then you will find using it not to be as easy, but you'll get used to it over time. On the back is where you'll find the camera, dual LED flashes, and your phone speaker on the bottom right corner. With the speaker being on the back, you don't get the best of sound quality, and does make placement of the device difficult, as to avoid obstructing the speaker in any way, but it does produce fair sound quality. So I found the user experience of using this device was really impressive, and the display was very responsive. With the Android experience on this device, you're getting a native Android experience, versus that of other manufacturers such as HTC, LG, and Samsung that use their own overlays and add many other things to Android, which can sometimes take away from the experience. It's great to use the OS for what it is and without all the extra. I did find that the actual storage space of the device to be disappointing, with just 8 GB of storage. You account for the OS being around 6 GB, and you're only left with roughly 2 GB. Granted, you do have the SD card expansion for storage, but not everything can be saved onto SD cards with the size of apps growing. The 2 GB comes at limiting some of the apps you can obtain. The power of this device was fairly good. The Geekbench Score of this device was pretty low to what I thought it would have been, as it actually was so responsive in many of the apps I downloaded and used. For me, I don't look at these numbers of proving anything unless I've actually tested it on my own terms with the apps I use on a regular. I couldn't try out that many apps. Of course, that was due to the space limitations, but I did play Smash Hit, which is a mildly graphic intense game, which it handled absolutely smoothly and was responsive during gameplay. I also did try playing Injustice: Gods Among Us, and that actually kept force closing on me. It's not a powerhouse device, but it packs enough for mildly intense games. The camera was very impressive in detail with this 13 megapixel sensor. Depending on your lighting, there could be tendencies to overexpose images very often, but not too bad with a little adjusting of the settings. In low light situations is where this device struggled more than often, and sometimes brought these noise artifacts in the image that were usually off color, as seen in this image here. I took several images to be sure it just wasn't something I was doing, but this happened on every frame I took after as well. If lighting was low, but still pretty good, then you would still come out with good usable images, such as this one in an underground train station. The front-facing camera sports a 5 megapixel sensor, and for a front-facing device, I was pretty happy with the quality. Of course, it's no match for the rear camera, but it does its job very well. Once again, as long as lighting remains fairly good. Otherwise, quality would drop further than the rear camera does in that situation. Video recording was, as this device is called, amazing. I actually felt like using it for some of my vlogs while at the aquarium. That's just how good it was. Something I didn't notice later on was an issue with the sound of the first 3 seconds of video recording. Now I'm not sure if this is a software issue, but every video capture resulted in the same, as you can hear in these. Overall, the camera gets a B-. It does its job and really excels in daylight, with beautiful crisp images from both the front and rear cameras. Overall grade, I would give this device as a B+. Overall, this device was great to use. In all honesty, I'm not a huge Android fan in my own personal use, but after reviewing this device, it's opened me more to the platform and shows me how far Google has come in advancing their OS. I enjoyed this enough to do a video recently of my top photo editing apps for Android, a first for this channel. Allure has produced a great new device, and I think over time we're going to see much greater from them and the devices they produce. I wouldn't knock this device at all, and definitely would tell anyone to check them out. For just $300 with no contract, it's a good price for a device like this. My biggest plus on the device is the screen. Even though the size is not a liking for me, it was so impressive that it made me use this device more times than I thought I would in testing. It's super detailed and the colors are beautiful. As a photographer, this was by far my biggest joy of this device. It's hands down the best Android device display I've tried that's similar to what I love about the iPhone displays. Hope you all check out more of my videos, and as always, make sure to subscribe. All additional info for this video will be down below in the description. And as always, thank you to Joe from Allure for providing me with this review unit. So thank you for liking, commenting, and subscribing to my channel. And I hope you all look forward to my next videos.